Hi. Um, this video that you're watching right now is going to be my last video on YouTube for, I'm guessing, probably at least 2 months, unless I find a way to put videos on some other way, because I've actually sold my computer. I'm giving it to pay my rent for the month of July, so that I can have enough. I can have a lot of spending money for my trip, in case my trip to Germany, and in case I need it for something. If I have enough money when I get back, I'm going to go ahead and buy another computer, but I don't think I will. So this will be the last one for a couple months. The subject I want to talk about right now is one that seems to be, it's another one of those big issues, and I would say just about everybody that I talk to that's a critic of Christianity, critic of religion, that is a member of some sort of religion that doesn't include God, doesn't include a God concept like Satanism or whatever, Hinduism that has all the meanings of gods, or whatever it might be. The subject is my motivation for being a Christian, and people in general, are people in general motivated for religion by fear? Well, this is a multi-layered. This question has many layers to it, so it's not an easy question to answer. But I can say with pretty much with conviction that at this very moment, my motivation for being a Christian is not fear. I am not motivated because I'm afraid to go to hell. I'm not motivated because I'm afraid that I'm going to, step the wrong way or do the wrong thing and offend God or whatever. I do fear offending God, and I do have a healthy respect for eternity. And I don't think any human being should ever ignore the fact of eternity. No matter what happens after this life, whether it's death and you just rot, or whether there's some sort of consciousness, or whether it's heaven or hell, or whatever it might be, I think it would be incredibly stupid and incredibly unwise and incredibly what's the word I'm looking for? Proud. An incredibly prideful thing to do, to ignore the fact of eternity. I'm not motivated now out of fear to serve Christ, to serve God. I'm motivated mostly out of love and a true desire for to see people know God the way God wants them to know Him. And I know that I've examined every religion on the face of the earth. People think that I'm ignorant. They say, well, if you were in India, you'd be a Hindu, or if you were in China or whatever, or Thailand, you'd be a Buddhist. And the only reason you're a Christian is because you were raised in the South in the United States, and that's what everybody is. Everybody's a Christian there. Well, everybody's not a Christian in the South. There's probably at least 100 different main religions. Larger religions that are represented in most of the southern states. I was in Tennessee for about 20 years, but that's not that's not true. That not everybody in the South is a Christian. But I've examined every real religion under the sun. I'm not talking about these little shoot offs, these little cults and things that people start in their basement. I'm talking about actual religions. I'm talking about Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Mormonism, Catholicism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and those are mostly the main religions, most of the ones that you hear about the most. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam being the main three. And I've examined all these religions, so I'm not stupid. I know what religions teach. I know what religions believe. I know what the people in them believe, and I can honestly say, not just because I'm a Christian and I'm being a Christian and trying to be a Christian witness, but I can honestly say that Christianity, with its faults, I'm not saying that there is no faults in Christianity. There's no faults in God, but there are faults in Christianity. But Christianity, with all its faults, is the only faith on earth that accomplishes what it sets out to accomplish, and it's the only faith really that that brings a knowledge of God to the world. You got Judaism. It doesn't really bring a knowledge of God to the world. There's no centralized teaching of evangelism. The Jews will tell you basically just be a good person and don't worship idols and you'll go to heaven. But that's just a cop out. There's no centralized teaching in Judaism that says, hey, world, this is what God wants from you, and this is what you need to give to God, or whatever. Judaism is basically is centered around Jews. It's their religion, and they're not really interested in spreading it. Islam, even the most peaceful Islam, is still full of hatred and violence. Its idea of evangelism is to kill whoever doesn't accept it. Buddhism is not even based on a god, really, so I don't even count that. Hinduism is I don't even know. I can't even begin to say what Hinduism is. The only religion, if you want to call it that really reaches out for God and it's really revealed by God is the Christian faith. I'm not motivated out of fear. I do have a healthy fear of eternity. A healthy respect for it, and healthy understanding that there is an eternity, and without God in my life, eternity might not be such a great thing. But I don't think there's anybody in this world that can honestly look at me and say that they have no fear or trepidation about the fact that when they close their eyes for the last time, there's an eternity ahead of them. So to answer the question, I'm not motivated by fear. I do have a healthy fear, and I suppose when I first got saved, that fear was a factor in it. But now that I know God and I've experienced His love and I've experienced His grace, I can honestly say that fear is not my motivation for being a Christian. So everybody that tells me that needs to hear this and to know that my motivation is love, not fear. All right, thank you.